Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. Good morning, or if it's your evening or afternoon, I hope you're having a good one. So far, so good here, but it's just started. Well, for the most part. So how you doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. Thanks for dropping by. And be sure, if you're new here, hit the old like and subscribe and stuff like that. My name's Brian. Well, I mean, I'm asking you to like me without you even knowing my name. My name's Brian, as you can see here. And I'm a poet, and we do poetry on this channel. But I don't do it. I do it with a little twist. I make music out of it using the dreaded artificial intelligence. Yes, a music AI named Suno. I take an old poem, plug it into it, it spits out 2 tracks, and we enjoy them together. You don't hear them, I hear them, and I don't hear them until you hear them. That's where the fun is. How you doing? Good morning. Hopefully you're having some coffee or tea or pomegranate juice or whatever it is that gets your blood pumping in the morning. For me, it's coffee, 1 sugar, 2 creams, and my Miralax. Oh, don't you just... So, without further ado, I guess, how you doing? I'm just going to go ahead and get on with the show. Today's going to be a busy day because I got to go to school after this. Yay, lab. It's lab day. And I'm not talking about a Labrador Retriever. Yes. Oh, boy. All right, so I take 6 poems from 6 poets, or 6 poets and 6 of their poems, and turn them into 12 different tracks. And they all sound different and stuff like that. We let it do what it's supposed to do, and then, we listen to it, and we go on from there. Let's see here. On the agenda for today, because, everybody's got an agenda. We have a new one. A.B. Banjo Peterson, called a trolet. A trolet? I don't know. This dude's Australian. I looked him up. If that makes any difference. And then we got Alice Alice Chris, the Banshee. And then Boris Pasternak. I actually heard of this guy. I don't know in what context, but yeah. Can't forget that name. Black Spring. It seems to be a Russian translation. Good morning, Jennifer. And how you doing, pizza? All right, so for the second half of the show, we're going to India. Toru Dutt. Sonnet. And then one of the romantics, Shelley, Piercy, Besh, Love's Philosophy. And we're with Robert Louis Stevens, The Swing. So, what do you think, my friends? What do you think? Well, I don't know what to think, so we'll just go ahead and let me pull these up. You know how I am when it comes to the times. Well, make sure my speaker's on. Yeah, is when I'm looking at the times, like this first one, the 2 times are really interesting. The first one is 4 minutes long, and the second one is 1 minute and 34 seconds. So I don't know. Let's go.
Sickly forms of verse commend me to the triolet makes bad writers somewhat worse. Of all the sickly forms of verse that fall beneath the reader's curse, it is the feeblest jingle yet. Of all the sickly forms of verse, commend me to the sickly forms of verse, commend me to the trailet. It makes bad writers somewhat worse. Of all the sickly forms of verse that fall beneath a reader's curse, it is the feeblest jingle yet. Of all the sickly forms of verse, commend me to the somewhat worse. Of all the sickly.
And it cut us off. Yes, it was definitely, and that could have ended right after that violin solo. That was great. That was cool. Yes, that was really interesting, to say the least. Knowing that it will cut off, this doesn't suck. Yeah, it didn't suck. It was like, when it first started, I'm like, okay, what's this? And it got more and more interesting. Now, this one's only 1 minute and 34 seconds, so who knows?
Commend me to the triolet.
was interesting too. Yeah, 2 rocks, but one is it. I'm going to redo one with 4.5, so you'll be hearing that one again maybe in a longer form. Who knows? But yeah, definitely. I was reading a little bit on this because all poetry has those little announcements that go. The toilet form is criticized in this poem for its abundance of weak writing, rendering it an easy target for criticism. Compared to Patterson's, yes, this guy's name, Patterson's other works, it stands out for its brevity and lack of the usual descriptive and emotional language found in his poetry. The poem's timing reflects the literary landscape of the time, which saw a surge in popularity of more experimental and modern forms of poetry. Yeah, he was alive first, end of the 19th, beginning of the 20th century. He died in 1941, so he was around for all that modern stuff. Yay! All right, so let's just go ahead and our next one here, the Banshee. That there. Let me pull. Let's see here. The Banshee, version 1, by Alice Christ.
As we came down the old boring, Rose and I at vesper time on Sunday, and we heard a banshee cry. Beyond the churchyard dim and dark, 'neath whispering elms and yew trees stark, where our stars shone a corpse-like spark against the wintry sky. We heard and shuddered, sick with dread, Rose and I, as the shrill keening rang o'erhead, where cloud rack floated high. Our 2 young hearts, long sorely tried by poverty and love denied, still waiting for some favoring tide, and now death comes so nigh. Which of us 2 is called away? You or I, you or I? I heard my patient poor love say, with bitter plaintive sigh, now you, dear girl, I bravely said, to Mary Mother bow your head and cry for help to her instead, nor heed the banshee's cry. We raised our hearts in fervent prayer, Rose and I, nor knew our troubles ended there. Our happiness came nigh, for 'twas the grim old farmer, he, my only kin, rich man's early, who dying left his wealth to me, for whom the banshee cried.
That was interesting. Good afternoon, Irish. I'm sorry I didn't say afternoon earlier because I was excited. Yeah, my manners. Yes, that was quite smooth. So, that was interesting. Now, let's just go ahead and see what number. The second version. This is our other 4-minuter of the day. Oh, we're getting rid of them early. Banshee. 4-minute version.
As we came down the old boring, Rose and I, at vesper time on Sunday in, we heard a banshee cry. Beyond the churchyard dim and dark, 'neath whispering elms and yew trees stark, where our star shone a corpse-like spark against the wintry sky. We heard and shuddered, sick with dread, Rose and I, as the shrill keening rang o'erhead, where cloud rack floated high. Our two young hearts long sorely tried, by poverty and love denied, still waiting for some favoring tide, and now death comes so nigh. Which of us two is called away? You or I, you or I? I heard my patient poor love say, with bitter plaintive sigh, our hearts in fervent prayer, Rose and I, nor knew our troubles ended there, our happiness came nigh. For 'twas the grim old farmer, he, my only kin, rich miserly, who dying left his wealth to me, for whom the banshee cried. Which of us two is called away? You or I, you or I? I heard my patient poor love say, with bitter plaintive sigh, neither, dear girl, I bravely said, to Mary Mother bow your head and cry for help to her instead, nor heed the banshee's cry. We raised our hearts in fervent prayer, Rose and I, nor knew our troubles ended there, our happiness came nigh.
Well, yes, definitely two is better than one. But this is pretty interesting. You might like this tidbit. Irish. Christ's poem is similar to other Victorian poems in its use of traditional Irish folklore, and its focus on themes of death and poverty. However, it is also unique in its depiction of the banshee as a harbinger of good news rather than bad. Well, it wasn't good news for the uncle. Yeah, Myersley old uncle. In terms of the time period, the Banshee reflects the Victorian fascination with death and the supernatural. It also reflects the economic hardships faced by many Irish people during the Victorian era. I don't know about you, but I want to hear that bluegrassed up. Although, yes, this version 2 is very, very Broadway. I'll tell you that much. All right. We are on to our token Russian of the day, Boris Pasternak. I cannot for the life of me remember where I've heard that name before. Ugh. All right, Black Spring version 1. Yes, the rest of our mostly of good length and stuff. So here we go.
Slush and thunder is burning in the black of spray. Through clanking wheels, through church bells ringing, a hired cab will take you where the town has ended, where the showers are louder still than incantations, where roofs like charred pears from the branches to the melting snow, instilling dry sadness into eyes that weep. Beneath the earth is blackened puddles, the wind with croaking screeches throbs, and the more randomly, the surer poems are forming out of songs.
Oh, I love it.
Where roots like charred pears from the branches, in thousands break away and sweep into the melting snow, instilling dry sadness into eyes that wave. Beneath the earth is blackened puddles, the wind with croaking screeches throbs, and the more randomly the surer poems are forming out of songs.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about you, but that was freaking awesome. Yeah, definitely. That ain't the Carpenters. Oh, wow. That was cool. Definitely pissed off there. All right, so definitely that one was cool. Yes, I love it when they stand out. That one was only 2 minutes and 38 seconds, but that's all you needed to get the point across. Wow, that was great. Here we go with the second version.
Black spring, pick up your pen and weeping, of February in sobs and ink. Write poems while the slush and thunder is burning in the black of spring. Through clanking wheels, through church bells ringing, a hired cab will take you where the town has ended, where the showers are loud in puddles. The wind with croaking screeches throbs, and the more randomly the surer, poems are forming out of sobs. Beneath the earth is black in puddles. The wind with croaking screeches throbs, and the more randomly the surer, poems are forming out of sobs. Where roots like charred pierce from the branches, in thousands break away and sweep into the melting snow, instilling a dry sadness into eyes that weep. Beneath the earth is black in puddles. The wind with croaking screeches throbs, and the more randomly the surer, poems are forming out of sobs. Poems are forming out of sobs. Poems are forming out of sobs. Beneath the earth is black in puddles. The wind with croaking screeches throbs, and the more randomly the surer, poems are forming out of sobs.
This is clearly a case of whichever one you heard first, you probably like the best, because I like both of them. I have to agree, one stands out better. But yeah. Hey kiddo, how's it going? How was your day? Like I said, if I heard that one first, then the second one, I don't know. It's frustrating and freaking awesome at the same time, because, you know, I choose. We can play both of them, just at different times. Oh boy, I love it. All right. Oh, so let's go ahead and do this part here first. If you're just arriving, or you've been here for a while and you haven't done it, I beg of thee, please like and subscribe. And you know, everything we do here is under a fair use and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, so what do you think of the Irish kiltiness, folkiness of that last one? Irish, since you're our resident Irish person here. Oh, I love it. All right, so we are going on to plainly titled Sonnet by a lady named Poru Dutt. She was born on March 4th, 1856 in Rambagan, Calcutta. So she's from India.
A sea of foliage girds our garden round, but not a sea of dull unvaried green. Sharp contrasts of all colors here are seen. The light green graceful tamarinds abound amid the mango clumps of green profound, and palms arise like pillars gray between, and o'er the quiet pools the sea moss lean, red and startling like a trumpet sound. But nothing can be lovelier than the ranges of bamboos to the eastward, when the moon looks through their gaps and the white lotus changes into a cup of silver. One might swoon, drunken with beauty then, or gaze and gaze on a primeval Eden in a maze. gray between, and o'er the quiet pools the sea moss lean, red, red and startling like a trumpet sound. But nothing can be lovelier than the ranges of bamboos to the eastward, when the moon looks through their gaps and the white lotus changes into a cup of silver. One might swoon, drunken with beauty then, or gaze and gaze on a prime Eden, Eden in a maze, and gaze on a primeval Eden in a maze, in a maze, in a maze.
That was interesting. Oh, got some more people that showed up. Thanks for dropping by. If you missed it at the beginning, the very first one we did was from an Aussie poet, and it was interesting. Melody, Melody, how you doing? Good morning. It's really early there for you, ain't it? The last one was pretty darn good. Sorry, I was slightly distracted. And online customer support chat, and as you can probably guess, I would have gotten more intelligence talking to all. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Oh, don't you know it? Especially when I do the redos. There are some I'll do the redos, and all I gotta do is hear the first freaking bar, and I know that's it. You know, those are the ones I get really excited about, you know. And then there's the ones, again, I tried several different versions of it, and I'm like, okay. And that's when, you know, that's when it helps you. You got to approach it from a different angle after that, I guess. But, yeah. All right, hide that one. So, yeah. Good morning. All right. Where were we? Oh, we're on number 2 version of this one here. Sonnet. It's been a morning. Yes, it has. Version 2.
A sea of foliage girds our garden round, but not a sea of dull, unvaried green. Sharp contrasts of all colors here are seen. The light green, graceful tamarinds abound amid the mango clumps of green profound, and palms arise like pillars gray between, and o'er the quiet pools the sea moles lean, red, red and startling like a trumpet sound. But nothing can be lovelier than the ranges of bamboos to the eastward, when the moon looks through their gaps and the white lotus changes into a cup of silver. One might swoon, drunken beauty then, or gaze and gaze on a prime even Eden in a maze.
Yeah, I might just have to run it through, remix it through 4.5 to see what I can do with it. But yes, it was really good. Better than the first one. Hey, I was wondering where you were. I was hoping you were actually sleeping in. No, thanks. Yeah, definitely Purdy. Definitely Purdy. Purdy. Yes, number 2. That's the standout one of those two. Group consensus. I like it when we can come to those. Oh, wow. It's amazing. All right, we're going to go on to Shelley. Piercy. This Shelley-ish. Oh, boy. This is Love's Philosophy.
The fountains mingle with the river, and the rivers with the ocean. The winds of heaven mix forever with a sweet motion. Nothing in the world is single. All things by a law divine, in one another's being mingled. Why not I with thine? See the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another. No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What are all these kissings worth if thou kiss not me? Sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What are all these kissings worth if thou kiss not me? If thou kiss not me.
Yes, that was definitely interesting. Go ahead and compare it to the second one. This one's shorter. Wow, this one's like 30 seconds shorter. Here we go.
The fountains mingle with the river, and the rivers with the ocean. The winds of heaven mix forever with a sweet emotion. Nothing in the world is single, all things by a law divine, in one another's being mingled. Why not I with thine?
See the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another. No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother.
And the sunlight clasped the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What are all these kissings worth if thou kiss not me?
See the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another.
No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasped the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What are all these kissings worth if thou kiss not me?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Hands down, was a much better interpretation. Exactly. Shelley we're talking about here, you know? Kublai Khan and all that stuff. Definitely. So you're going to be hearing that one again. We've had some standout tracks for today. A couple that I'm going to have to redo and rework, but mostly today's show's been pretty cool. All right, we are on to our very final, our last one. Purdy, number 2. Yes, definitely. Shelley, what can go wrong? You know, Romantics. They had some stuff going on now, didn't they? They knew what they were about. All right, so our final one for our final track for today. Well, tracks. Another old dead English dude, Robert Louis Stevenson, The Swing.
How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Up in the air and over the wall, till I can see so wide. River and trees and cattle and all, over the countryside, till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it meant the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Ooh, up in the air and over the wall, till till I can see so wide. River and trees and cattle and all over the countryside, till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down.
Well, they certainly were living in interesting times. Revolutions of all different types, explorations, changes, just like today. I like that one. All right, so that one was actually pretty cool. Whimsical for childhood. What a show today has been. All right, we're just going to go ahead and get on with the final one of the day here. And then I'll play a couple of plays to see us out. And then I got to go to school. Oh, here we go.
How do you like to go up in a swing, up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Up in the air and over the wall, till I can see so wide. River and trees and cattle and all over the countryside, till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down.
If you get someone to pull it off, it might be a good one. We're going over genetics today. We're going to use fake genetic code to do something or other with pipettes and stuff. That's the hands-on part of the class. Yeah, but the weirdness is what I liked about number one, about number two. Fair enough. All right, so oh, yes, one is good, but two is fucking cool too. Oh boy, I'm being overruled here. Oh, wow. it's too early morning. So what do y'all think of that? Huh? Interesting show. And we got a couple minutes to spare. So guess what? We're going to do this one here because I can do that there and I can start playing. Sure.
Bake the day she suddenly dropped dead. We chew it slowly, that last apple pie. Shocked into sleeplessness, you're scared of bed. We never could talk much, and no, don't try. You're like bookends, the pair of you, she'd say. Hog that great, say nothing, sit, sleep, stare. The scholar me, you worn out on poor pay. Only our silence made us seem a pair. Not as good for staring in blue gas. Too regular each but each yellow spike. At night you need my company to pass, and she not here to tell us we're alike. Your life's all shattered into smithereens. Back in our silences and sullen looks. For all the scotch we drink, what's still betweens? Not the 30 or so years, but books, books, books. You're like bookends, the pair of you, she'd say. Hog that great, say nothing, sit, sleep, stare. The scholar me, you worn out on poor pay. Only our silence made us seem a pair. The scholar me, you worn out on poor pay. Only our silence made us seem a pair. Not as good for staring in blue gas. Too regular each but each yellow spike. At night you need my company to pass, and she not here to tell us we're alike. Your life's all shattered into smithereens. Back in our silences and sullen looks. For all the scotch we drink, what's still betweens? Not the 30 or so years, but books, books, books.
All right. This is a very, very, very important question here. The only Pop-Tarts I've ever really been able to stomach or prefer are actually the chocolate ones. You know, everything else is just too much sugar, too sweet. But yeah, either or, toasted, not toasted, it's chocolate Pop-Tarts. I even like the generic versions of them. Yes, definitely that one is always a winner. Your kids did. Yep, most of the time. Like them both ways. Well, I think this is a good explanation as any. This can do them hot. Definitely under the influence of the xenomarlines. All right. You guys, Brian is always right. No, I'm not always right. But I agree. One was better. It fit the poem better, but I liked two better. So you'll hear both of them. Yeah, no, not chocolate. I like the chocolate, and I'll leave it at that. Used to be strawberry, unfrosted. Maybe I don't like the frosting on them, you know. Now the toaster strudels were good too. All right, I'm gonna play one more. Let's end with some bluegrass here. Where is this one? Here.
Heaven bless the babe, they said. Heaven bless the babe. What queer books she may say, but she must have read. She must have read. Love by whom I was beguiled. Grant I may not bear a child. Little does she guess today, little does today, what the world may be, they say. What the world may be, they say. Snow drift deep and covered till the spring, my murdered lover. Little does she guess today, little does she day, what the world may be, they say. What the world may be, they say. Snow drift deep and covered till the spring, my murder lover. Snow drift deep and covered till the spring, my murdered lover.
All right. Well, they got pretty good taste in music, I guess. Yeah, y'all have a good day. Oh, Kathy, I need to talk to you. I have an idea for a fake bluegrass band. I'm gonna, because I've got like a very good album's worth of bluegrass on here that sounds like that, mostly the same. Is and but think of this name, The Begging Criers, featuring these are the four band members, one dude and three chicks that are sisters. They're the Merriweather sisters, Melinda, May, and Mo. With the dude is named Grantley Price and the Merriweather sisters. I'm mulling the freaking characters over in my head. It'd be a good trick I don't know if it'd be a good trick to play on people. But what do you think? A fake bluegrass band? Hey, made with AI music. Remember, Gorillaz did it. A cartoon band. All right, my friends. I got to go to school and learn stuff. And I'll see y'all again in the morning. Same time, same channel. 6 new poets. 6 new cones and stuff. Yeah, we you never know. You can make a CD, send it with the fake freaking press kit, make up a press kit, send the CD out, and you never know. You think it would work? I need help making up a press kit, though. I'll see y'all later.